I'd like to remind everyone to please make sure that all cell phones are turned to the off or vibrate position. Also, please be advised our city council meetings are broadcast on television on Comcast Channel 99 and rebroadcast on WMGJ Radio. This meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order. The chair calls on City Clerk Ivan Nelson for the roll call.
Councilwoman Toles. Here. Councilman Williams.
Here.
Worthy.
Here.
Eccles. Here. Billingsley.
Here.
Cannon.
Here.
And Reed.
Hello.
We have a quorum present. The meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Keith Williamson to lead the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, Lord. We thank you for the many blessings. We thank you for your love, your grace, and your mercy, most of all, Father, for it's completely undeserved. We pray, God, for your wisdom, your guidance, your knowledge, and discernment, Father, to allow us to be good stewards of all you blessed us with, Father. Just lead us in everything that we do, and help us to bring you all the honor and glory. We give you thanks in advance. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the work session and city council meeting held on November 15.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
The chair will entertain a motion to ratify payment of accounts for the week of November 11th through November 17th.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Proclamations, Mayor. Unfinished business. Item number 8A is an ordinance authorizing tax increment financing funds or TIF funds for the completion of Riverfront Park development. This ordinance was presented last week for first reading. The amount is $396,102. What is the pleasure of the council? Okay, is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
For item number 8B, the nuisance on property at 709 Cow Street in District 3 has been abated by the owner, therefore no action by the council is needed. Items number 9 through 16, this is time and place as advertised to conduct a public hearing, allowing anyone to speak in opposition to or in favor of resolutions assessing nuisance abatement liens against property, and we have 8 locations. Numbers 9 through 15 are for demolition that has already been performed, and number 16 is for rehabilitation. Okay. Number 9 is 1015 7th Avenue. That's in District 5, and the amount is $2,197. Number 10 is 1115 South 11th Street. That's in District 5 as well, $4,366.40. Number 11 is 1121 Jupiter Street in District 5, $3,141.40. Number 12 is 913 Willow Street in District 5, $4,016.40. Number 13 is 2205 Chestnut Street in District 6, $2,041.40. Number 14 is 2218 Hill Avenue in District 6, $2,941.40. Number 15 is 2408 Hill Avenue, District 6, $2,716.40. And as was mentioned before, item number 16 is a rehab. It's at 1820 Eisenhower Street in District 5, $3,223.40. And the vast majority, as I understand it, the vast majority of that rehab was exterior. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to any of these resolutions? Does anyone wish to speak in favor? The chair will entertain a motion to adopt all 8 resolutions.
So moved. Second.
Okay, clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt all 8 resolutions, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt all 8 resolutions.
Item number 17 is a resolution awarding bid number 3330 for annual and perennial flowers for 2017. The purchasing department has recommended awarding the bid to Dixie Green, Inc., and the amount is $18,573.40. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Okay, is there any discussion? And for anybody that may be interested, this Dixie Green was the only company that bid. Okay, clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item number 18 is a resolution authorizing agreement with Coosa River Team Trail in memory of Barbara Wetzel. This is for the city to sponsor a series of 4 fishing tournaments in 2017, in addition to directing the city's super tournament between the months of March and November 17th. The total amount is $11,200. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved. Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
I oppose.
we have 1 opposition. Motion carries to adopt.
Okay, new business. Is there any new business?
Yes, Mr. President, I have one. Ask for unanimous consent for resolution authorizing a special use permit for Verizon to modify their equipment at the existing wireless telecommunication facility located at 416 Elmwood Avenue.
Second.
Okay, clerk, will you take the vote?
To consider the resolution today as an item of new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move for adoption, please.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Okay, is there any more new business? Department reports, committees, boards. Remarks by the mayor and council. Councilman Reed, would you like to start?
Val offered in his class of 1974, had a bringing the community back together fish fry, and it was a great success. We had a number of police officers there, a number of, my bike's not on, LSB bike. Anyway, I'll say again, Val offered in his class of 74, had a fish fry. It was bringing our community back together, and it was great. I talked to Val about it. He said he had, again, a number of police officers there and a number of people. The only good part about it is, they said I wasn't there, but I would be next year, because they said the fish was really good and the camaraderie was doubled. Anyway, I appreciate it, Val.
Okay, Councilman Cannon.
I just want to remind everybody that leaf season is here. You can go on Channel 99, you can see where the leaf truck's going to be the next day or working in that week. Also, on our Facebook page, you can look on there, see your Gadsden Facebook page, look on there, it tells you where they're working at. Just be patient with us. If it ever starts raining, all the leaves are going to fall at one time, it looks like, but just be patient. We will get them up, can't get them up till they fall. That's what I always tell everybody. And I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Make sure you enjoy it with your family and be safe.
Councilman Billingsley?
I don't have anything.
Councilman Worthy?
Yes, talk a little bit about the trip we went on to Pittsburgh City, the conference we had, and they tell you about the best practices. And one of the seminars I sat in on was taking a blighted property, and they were also using the land banks, and they was using the CDBG money to revitalize the blighted areas, and they were partnering with nonprofits. So I think we may all look at that. They was not only building houses, but they were building apartment complexes. So maybe next year we could look at maybe doing some stuff like that. So thank you, and a happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Be safe.
Councilman Echols, okay. Councilwoman Toast,
I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Mayor?
Same with me. Happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much.
All right, a couple quick announcements. Do want to just recognize and commend the Gadsden City football team. It wasn't the outcome we had hoped for, but we do thank them for representing the city well as they made it all the way to the semifinals again. So again, it's always good to see our teams compete at a high level, and we do appreciate that effort. Also want to echo Councilman Reed's recognition of the community group led by Val Alford, I believe, that conducted the fish fry. I don't care, what the motive may have been. I think that was a good event, and I think it turned out really well, and I think the officers really appreciated being recognized. So kudos to Mr. Alford and that group for carrying out a good event. To echo Councilman Worthy's mention of the League of Cities event, one of the things that I do want everyone to realize is that there's quite a bit of positive activity that comes out of that event anytime that we attend. As he mentioned, there are a number of sessions and seminars where best practices and ideas are shared across cities. And one of the interesting things that I've learned is that we are not nearly, when you sit in these sessions, you learn that we're not nearly as bad sometimes as we like to pass ourselves off as being. Now, there are some opportunities for us to adopt some ideas and do some things better. But again, you have to compare apples to apples. We get wide-eyed a lot of times when we look at what a lot of our bigger cities are doing, but they have much bigger budgets, and many of them have quite a bit of private participation in their projects. But there are, again, a lot of good things, and the thing I always enjoy is being able to set the agenda for the league in terms of policy. We always get to participate in that process, and many of us, Councilman Reed and myself, get to actually sit in leadership roles and participate from that perspective. So it's a lot of fun from that perspective, and it'll be interesting because there's a lot of talk about public-private partnerships and infrastructure projects. So it's something that we may be looking at going forward, or P3s is the new design or new term. So just please understand those before you start voting on them or agreeing to them or talking about them, because you always have to remember that the private sector invests for return. They invest in an arbitrage fashion. So it's not, we always have to be careful with that because we don't want to give up ownership of our infrastructure simply because we need private investment. So I think that's it. If there's nothing else, I entertain a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Okay.